Sorry, ladies and gentlemen. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, boys and ghouls, children of all ages. Welcome to Friday night ShadowZone Paranormal Talk. I'm your ShadowZone ghost host with the most, Brian James. Tonight we have an epic show for you tonight. We have Jesse from Deezghost with us. He is going to explain everything about him. I've been talking to him for the past 30 minutes. He is a phenomenal guy. But before we get to him, I want to let you guys know a few things first. This Friday, we are going to be filming for our first episode for Paraflix. We are excited about this. It's going to be a great one. Also, if you guys are a paranormal investigator, a paranormal enthusiast, anything that has to do with UFOs, mythological creatures, anything like that, and you're tired of the platforms and all the drama because of what you post, then go over to our buddy Brian Laverty's Parapost Network. It runs on Apple. It runs on Android. You can download it on your computer by going to parapost.net, or you can download it for free in the Google Play Store. Also, if you need equipment and you're tired of paying ridiculous prices for it, talk to our boy Jesse here tonight at Deezghost. He makes his own equipment, a phenomenal guy. He can make what you want. And use the promo code GLOBALEQ and get 10% off your first purchase. Well, ladies and gentlemen, without any further ado, I think we need to bring the man of the hour on, too sweet to be sour, funky like a monkey, Mr. Jesse from Deezghost.
Whoa!
What's going on, brother?
Nothing. I was kind of intrigued. I was excited to meet Cardboard Rick.
Oh, Cardboard Rick. One on the podcast tonight? Jesse's excited to meet you.
I seen the name, and it's probably the most epic name I've ever seen in my life.
He says it's the most epic name he's ever seen in his life. This is Cardboard Rick.
Oh, shit. The man himself, the legend.
That's right.
So, Jesse, my man, how you doing tonight?
I'm good. It's been a long week.
Amen on that one.
Oh, yeah.
So, Mikey, no, go away. So I gotta know, Jesse. First things first, man. What got you into the paranormal field?
Dude, man, I was probably about 16. I got kicked out of my house, moved in with my buddy. To kind of sum it up, they went on a family vacation to Kansas City, and he said, "Here, man, here's the keys to the house while we're gone, blah, blah, blah." So they leave. I walk in the house, walk into the living room, and I sit down on the couch, and I'm looking for the remote. And then all of a sudden, the TV kicks on, and the VCR, back in the day, the VCR said play, stop, or eject. I don't know if if you remember those days, but yeah, that's.
Are you there, buddy?
Yeah, can you hear me?
I can hear you now. You froze there for a second.
Yeah, the whole screen froze. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's my internets or what.
Must be Deezghost.
Something. But no, I went into the living room, sat down, and the TV screen said play, back those old VCRs, and Ace Ventura Pet Detective kicked on. So I thought, oh yeah, that's awesome. So then all of a sudden,
good taste.
Yeah, so then it says stop, and then you see the word eject, and the VCR tape came out of the VCR literally like 2 feet, like shot out of the VCR. And I'm looking for the remote. I'm like, what the just happened? Kind of scared the shit out of me, to be honest with you. I didn't really know what to expect. I never seen a VCR tape shoot out of a VCR like that. And over in the chair was the remote. And the funny thing about that is we always used to hear his CB. He kept it unplugged, but every once in a while, man, you'd hear voices come through that CB, that CB device.
Right.
And I don't know, I just thought it was weird. Well, then when they get back, I told them, I said, dude, I ain't staying here by myself no more. Come to find out, they had family that died there. And it was like a normal thing there. They just didn't tell me. And that's pretty much what got me interested into the paranormal.
Nice.
Yeah, it was pretty fucked up, to be honest with you.
Yeah, not telling somebody about hey dude, my house is haunted, by the way, so if anything weird happens, don't worry, it's just grandma or grandpa.
Yeah, and then they showed me that Christmas. They said shit used to happen like every holiday. Well, it just so happened to come up. We were coming up on Christmas, and they had this old Jack-in-the-Box thing that you wound up, but it was their grandmother's that had passed away, but they always put it out for Christmas because she always, I guess she always put it out for the kids at Christmas, so they kept doing that. And look, I don't believe in a lot of things, but when you see that damn handle move by itself, I mean, I damn near, I could have probably put a diaper on. You know what I mean? I probably should have, because that was the craziest thing I think I ever saw.
Oh man, there's two things that I don't do. That's Jack-in-the-Boxes and dolls.
Yeah.
Only two things as a paranormal investigator that will literally scare the crap out of me. Our first investigation, when we first started, we started out with 3 flip phones.
Yeah.
And the report was the two parents would always argue and fight, and it would upset these spirits. And they started taking it out on the little girl to the point to where they were ripping blankets off and pulling her out of bed.
Mm-hmm.
So we go into the room, and what does she have in the closet? Whole collection of porcelain dolls.
God dang.
I said, dude, put a blanket up. I don't care. Do something. I don't want to see them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, man. Some of those porcelain dolls are kind of, I don't know, they can be creepy.
Oh, dude, we had Lisa Marie on here from the Minnesota Spirit Hunters, and she has these haunted dolls. Like literally, she's putting K2 meters in their laps, and these
Yeah.
things are going to the yellow and the red.
Yeah.
And we did a 5-hour and 16-minute podcast on those dolls.
Dang. See, that's one thing I always tell people. People are like, man, can you turn, my doll or my bear or whatever they have into a piece of equipment? And I'm like, yeah, sure. The only thing I won't do is if it's haunted, keep it yourself, because I'm not messing with it. Because I I don't want nothing like that in my house, or even in my shop at that,
Yeah, I don't blame you whatsoever on that one. So
Yeah.
you had your first experience. You kind of got a taste of what the paranormal was about. About how old were you when you decided that you wanted to take it a step further? You wanted to start your own team and see what you could do.
Man, dude, it was about a good 10 years or so before I had always wanted to, and you already, we had all watched Taps and stuff back then, so
Oh yeah.
that stuff was huge back then, but you never really seen like teams, like I didn't know how to like really get and hold the touch of teams, but yeah, I'd say about 10, 12 years later, I had joined a team, and that's kind of where I started learning more about how to investigate, and really what the paranormal was about, because before that, all I knew is I had the shit scared out of me when I was 16, you know what I mean? And I didn't really know. I wanted to know how it happens and why. So that's why I do what I do now, is because I'm always intrigued or trying to build a piece of equipment that can help me either debunk it or say, hey, there's no explanation on why this is happening.
Exactly. And, I think when everybody first starts a team, like with me, I wouldn't watch the shows, like Ghost Adventures and Taps. I would study them.
Mm-hmm.
I would sit there with a pen and a piece of paper, and I would write shit down just for hours studying. And when you first start a team, you think, all right, well, I got, in my case, I got 3 buddies. We got 3 flip phones. And, we think it's all about just going out, having fun, and investigating and helping people. But there's just so much more to running a team than just going out and having fun and investigating if you want to be successful. And a lot of people don't realize the hard work and the dedication you have to put into that team. And it can turn the fun into just major pain in the rear in about 5 seconds. So, what was the name of your first team? Uh-oh. Oh shoot, we lost him. Where did he go? Hold on here just a second, ladies and gentlemen. We seem to be having some sort of connection issues here. But we will have him back soon, I'm assuming. Yeah. So, anywho, Eldon unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. He is out working, and Jason is doing the same. So it's just me running the show tonight. As fun as that is, I enjoy the podcast. They're very fun. I love doing it. I just got a message back from Jesse. He said StreamYard froze. He's trying to get back in. So this interview will continue here, I promise. But to let everybody know while we wait, please visit Parapost Network. It is a phenomenal platform, drama-free, and it is nothing but paranormal. And I, for one, am a huge fan. And yeah, it's just great all around. You can download it on Apple. You can download it on Android. You can download it on your computer or laptop by going to either parapost.net or by going to the App Store and downloading the Parapost app itself. It is 100% free of charge, and I guarantee you will absolutely love it. Speaking of Eldon, the Nightcrawler. Hey, buddy. How you doing, Eldon? We're having some technical difficulties right now. Really don't know what's going on. But we are trying to get this back going. Yes, sir, we are. And also, if there is anybody out there that is looking, and he's back.
Man, I don't know what's going on with this StreamYard. It doesn't like me tonight.
I don't know, but I was getting nervous, man. I'm sitting here sweating bullets going, oh, man, it's a one-man show. What do I do? What do I do? What do I do?
No, I don't know what's going on. This StreamYard does not like me tonight. That the whole screen went black, and I'm like, what is going on?
Yeah, it went black on me for a second, too, and then, boom, it went right back.
Yeah, I don't know what. Mine never went back. It just froze the whole thing.
Oh, man. So, what we were talking about was how difficult it is to run a paranormal team as it is to just starting one. Where you start one with your friends, you think it's, just about going out and investigating and having fun. But then, you want to help people at the same time. And that's where it gets more difficult, because then you have to form your fun and friends into a business.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the biggest part is, a lot of people want to go investigate and they want to have the fun part of it, but they don't want to do the back end work like reviewing evidence, whether it's video or audio, or even debunking things,
And debunking things is the worst. That is the most heartbreaking thing in the world. Because you'll be sitting there and you're going over EVP. You've got your team around you. You got one going over the camera and, one doing this. And you're like, guys, come here. Listen to this. Listen to this. And you have everybody hear it. And that last person, oh, that was me. My stomach growled.
Right. Right. So, yeah. And like I had one situation where we were going through a house and they had claims of the water faucet kicking on randomly by itself. And it did do it a couple times while we were there. But I said, man, where's your pump at? And they're like, oh, it's down in the corner in the basement. And I went down there and I said, I tell you what, I'm going to go down there with a walkie-talkie. And every time the pump turns on, you know what I mean? I want you to check the faucet. And the first couple times the water pump went on, it didn't do anything. But then when somebody flushed a toilet and the water pump kicked on and it had to rush water through all the pipes, then
Right.
it turned the damn. Then all of a sudden the faucet turned a little bit and the water kicked on. So I was able to debunk that, but which is good. But the whole time they're thinking it's damn ghost, and it's just their faucet handle was loose from the pressure. You know what I mean?
I mean, that's good for the people to know, you know, that it's not paranormal. They have nothing to worry about. Now, have you ever gotten the call where people swear up and down their house is haunted, all this stuff is happening? You go in there with your team and your equipment and you capture absolutely nothing multiple times?
Yeah, absolutely. It got to a point where we would vigorously interview the people and anybody that was in the house before we would go out, because I mean, it got to a point where I think I'm not going to say everybody's crazy, but there were people, it's like they wanted it to be haunted, or they just freaked themselves out over nothing. You know what I mean? And
Right.
there was absolutely nothing there, and you almost feel like you wasted your time, because there was, you know, like you said, I mean, we would go there 2 or 3 times, you know, surely under the thinking that, you know, surely if I'm there 2 or 3 times, I'm going to capture something. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
But there would be absolutely nothing. So, but I've had residentials. I had one residential place, and it was a trailer, kind of in the middle of nowhere. And this one was legit, 100%. I mean, I was doing an EVP session, just me and a voice recorder, and I'm out in there by myself, because they said it was super active before we had got there, and they didn't want to be in there at the time. So I'm like, okay, let's go, Lone Ranger, let's take care of this, you know. And I go in there, and I'm in the bedroom where they said they were having activity, and I put a REM pod out, and I'm like, hey, do me a favor. Oh, the boss man.
Andy, want to be on YouTube?
Yep, everybody on the festival now.
Right there behind Eldon.
Go ahead, brother.
So no, I was in the bedroom, and I put a REM pod out, and I said, do me a favor, get close to this REM pod, and it'll light up red. And when I listened back to the EVP on the recorder, right when I said that, when I said, get close to this REM pod and it'll light up red, right after that it said leave. But it was like plain as day. It was like, leave. You know what I mean?
Oh, and, wow.
It was crazy. Like, I still got it on my phone in my audio to this day. Like, you know what I mean? I downloaded it, and so just so I wouldn't lose it, you know?
Nice.
But it was 100%, and I'm the only person in this house because they didn't want to go in there. And that was legit. Like, I had a feeling, and I was like, man, I need to check this recorder because something just didn't feel right. You know what I mean? You ever go and, like, out of nowhere, there's this, like, either heavy feeling or all your hair on your body standing up. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? And something told me
when that happened.
Something told me to stop that recorder and listen to it, and I did. And sure enough, and I showed the people, and I said, they said that it sounded like their brother, which was in the military, and he had passed away in combat.
Oh, wow.
And she said that's who it sounded like.
You see, we've been to this specific place. We called it the, what was it? I can't remember what we nicknamed the place, the Boone House. And they would get these crazy orbs at night. They would get the bed shaking. They would get shadow figures. And, you know, they'd send us videos because they have all these cameras set up in their house.
Yeah.
And we went there the first time, and we captured, you know, a couple of orbs and a few in the spirit box. But that was it. We come back the second time and we have a medium and a clairvoyant with us. Well, all of a sudden, we're down in the basement where most of the activity is. And my camera woman starts feeling like she's having a heart attack. So, we calm her down. And my buddy John is sitting on the stairs and he says, dude, something just tugged on my shirt and I felt it walk down the stairs. I'm like, okay, just keep doing what you're doing. And then my clairvoyant, all of a sudden, she just backs up against the wall and she says, you're not getting behind me. And I'm like, okay, what's going on with you? And she starts telling us what's going on, that she feels, a dark presence. And by the time I look in the laundry room, my medium is slumped down on the ground. Her head is hung, and she's completely unresponsive.
Yeah.
So I send John back further into that room to do spirit box work while we're trying to get her up and going, trying to get the spirit off of her. And all of a sudden you hear clear as daylight, leave now, through the spirit box. And I'm like, okay, well, obviously, this is affecting my medium to the point to where she's unresponsive. We need to get her out of here. My clairvoyant's kind of freaked out. My sister, my camera woman, is having heart attack symptoms. We need to get out and reevaluate. So I get my team out and we tell them, we're going to go over what we got and we'll come back, at a later date. We'll set something up. And dude, we captured nothing again besides the spirit box. Mm-hmm. So we set up the third time, we figure out a date. Then all of a sudden all of my equipment I had in the back of my car, because we were getting ready for an investigation, gets jacked out of my car. Everything we have is now gone. And this dude's telling me the beds are shaking, the shadow figures are worse. And I'm like, dude, there's nothing I can do. I don't have the proper equipment to go in there. And I think this dude's actually talking about helping us out and buying us equipment because it's getting that bad.
Wow. Like, I've never physically seen a shadow or a shadow figure personally in my experience. Now, there's a lot of people that claim to do that, but I've never been able to, and I've always wanted to, but I've never did it. And I do believe everybody's different, but I feel like people are sensitive to certain things, whether it's sound or, audio or visual, whether it's, a shadow or a light anomaly or whatever. I have a tendency to see or to hear more things with my own ears. Like, I don't know what it is or why. I've talked to a few mediums about it to try to get more understanding of it. And, but I don't know. Like I drove to Maryland with Brandon and Paranormal in the Funhouse. And we've went on some investigations together, and it was a place called the Maryland Inn. And we went downstairs, down where the dining room is, and there's a spot there. When I walked through the first time, the doorknob started shaking behind me. I'm like, what the? And I opened the door, and there's nobody there, and then when we were leaving, as I'm walking through that same spot, it's like there's a man behind me talking. Like, I can't understand what he's saying, but I know it's words. You know what I mean?
Right.
I know he's trying to tell me something, but then there's nothing there. But on the camera, when you looked on the camera, when I turned around with the camera, you know what I mean, to try to catch it. You did see like an anomaly, like a small like light anomaly there at about the same time that I was hearing that man talk.
Nice.
Yeah, I
And
mean
me,
it was pretty
man,
crazy.
I've never captured the coup de grace. When we were in the basement of St. Ignatius Hospital, I happened to look back at this big, probably 11-foot metal door, and Rick is beside me, and I'm like, Rick. And he looks at me, he goes, "What, man?" I was like, "Look down the hallway and tell me you're seeing what I'm seeing." And there stood this big ass shadow figure. He was big enough where his hands are literally resting on this door. This thing had to be 14, 15 foot tall. And he is staring a hole through my soul. We looked at each other. I'm like, "Are you seeing this?" He goes, "Yep." I said, "Dude, grab your phone and get a picture." By the time we turn around, some bitch is gone.
Yeah. Now speaking of that, have you ever been to Old South Pittsburgh Hospital?
I haven't, man. I've investigated northern Idaho and eastern Washington.
Well, I mean, if you ever get the opportunity to go through there and do an overnight, it's crazy. I was actually, the team I was with at the time was Forgotten Souls Paranormal, and we were on a
Uh-oh. Jesse, you there?
Uh-oh.
Yes.
You there?
There we go.
Man, I'm telling you what, this StreamYard does not like me tonight. But there was 2 incidences that happened there, and I say that I've never seen a shadow with my own eyes is true. But when I took the picture, there was nothing there. But when I took the picture at the end of the hallway in the doorway, it's like there's a silhouette of a female in a dress, but half of its legs are gone. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that was crazy as shit because there was nobody down there. It was just me and the 2 guys right next to each other, you know? And about 20 minutes after that, we go in the room where the lady had hung herself, and I'm calling for her, talking, saying, "Hey, you know, I want to say the name was Mary for some reason. But, you know, I'm saying, yeah, hey, so-and-so, like, you know, let me know that you're here. Can you make a sound?" And then all of a sudden, I hear like a scream, like a female screaming, but it was like a faint scream, like it was so far in the distance, but you could hear it like it was in front of you. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like it was way down the road, but at the same time, it sounded close enough to where it's in front of your face.
Right. So my first thing I'm thinking, okay, is there like females around? And then I'm like, well, dude, this building is secluded. There's nothing around this building. So there's no people around the building, and it's only me and 2 dudes right behind each other. And so I say, hey, can you do that again? And right on command, it does the same exact thing. And then it was gone.
Oh, wow.
That was intense because that shit was real. Like that. I mean, I heard it with my own ears. It was on the recording on Facebook. Like you could go back and listen to it. We listened to it 100 times. Like it was the craziest thing.
The craziest thing I've seen through our investigation so far was we were in St. Ignatius, and my sister and our friend Charles Howard Johnson, they thought I was way down the hallway because they're using thermal and they pick up on something, you know, kind of cold but kind of hot about my size. And they're like, "Bubba, come out, come here." And I come out of a room like 10 feet from them. I'm like, "What? I'm trying to investigate over here." And they're like, "Come here, come here." I start walking towards them, and this thing starts walking right behind me. And this thing, I'm 6'5", and I maybe came up to this thing's navel. And they're freaking out. And I go back and look, I'm like, what are you guys looking at? And I look at it and there's nothing there. But when we go back over the footage, they're saying, something is following Bubba. We got to do something about this. And I get to see it and I'm like, holy crap, because that thing was massive.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And the best EVP we ever captured was our second investigation. And I shut the door a little too hard. And I document it. And you hear clear as daylight, and it's on our old YouTube channel. If you search Spokane Ghost Crew Extended Highlights, you hear, that motherfucker did it.
Damn.
Yeah. So
Wow,
what's
crazy.
the craziest piece of evidence you've ever captured?
Dude, well, that lady doing that in the Old South Pittsburgh Hospital, but the other one is I was at Old County Franklin Jail in Illinois, and there was 4 of us that time. 2 of them stayed down on the first floor in the cells in the first floor. That's where the infamous Charlie Berger had been hung for murder. He was like a mobster. And he had killed all these people, but that's what the place is known for. Okay. So they're down there, and me and the other guy, we go up the stairs to go to the second floor. And now keep in mind, these stairs, these old jails had these metal stairs. Okay. So like when somebody's walking up these stairs, it's not, you know what I mean?
Yeah. You hear that ting, ting, ting.
Yes. So then we get up there and there's a bench and we're like, let's sit here for a second, take a break, because we had been at it for a couple hours. Sure enough, no more than probably 2 minutes sitting there on this bench. And we're sitting right in front of these stairs at the top of the stairway. And the stairs go like this, right in front of us, go down. And all of a sudden you hear the loudest, it's like a 400-pound man ran up these stairs. And I'm not exaggerating when I say that because that's how loud it was. I mean, it was like they ran up the stairs as fast as they could, but there's nothing there. So yeah, that's him right there. So when we go, I immediately, as soon as I heard it, I looked at Chris, man, he's like, dude, something just ran up the stairs, but we're looking, there's nothing there. So I immediately go run to the stairwell, look down it, there's nobody there. So, because at first I thought maybe the guys downstairs were just like, messing with us. Yeah, so I get down to the bottom stairs and I go down to the cells they were in. Now, keep in mind, they had those big steel doors, so when you open them and close them, you hear it, that somebody's opening and closing it.
The whole building.
Yeah. And so it was closed when I walked down there. And when I open it, Mike and Rob were the other guys downstairs. They're back to back, like with their hands up, like they have to fight something. I'm like, dude, what's going on? And he's like, man, about 15 seconds ago, something started coming at us and we just had to back up to each other because it was coming at us both ways. That was the exact same moment that we had something that was running up the stairs. Like it was running up the stairs at us.
Oh, man.
And that was probably the most scary thing because you don't know what it is. You know what I mean? You don't know when you have something like that happen. You're probably going to check your pants. You know what I mean? Yeah, you might have shot yourself.
You hear what sounds like a water buffalo running up these metal steps.
Yeah.
You can't see nothing at all. it makes you wonder if maybe there was a prison riot there at one point in time, and that was one of the guards maybe running for his life.
Well, you don't know. And the kicker was we tried to debunk it, and here's the kicker is when we went back and re-looked at the evidence, it's only going one way. You know what I mean? Like it either went up the stairs or like it didn't go up the stairs and then back down the stairs. It just went like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it either went up or down, and it went with the quickness.
Yeah. And I mean, I don't even think a human could move that fast on those steps. You know what I mean? Like, I mean, that's how quick, like that's how fast whatever was on that stairwell. That's how, I mean, it was crazy.
Especially a 400-pounder. You know, I'm up there, you know, I'm about 385, and about the quickest I move is when, you know, I got to save one of my kids, and that's pretty quick, but
I mean, all of us guys, we were pushing, you know, each of us about 230 pounds each, you know, but there is no possible way that a 230-pound man, even if he was at the top of the steps, which is impossible because we had just went up the stairwell and sat down in front of it. You know what I mean? There is no way a 230-pound man could have went down those stairs, around the corner, and into the bottom jailway cells and open the steel door and shut it without us hearing it.
Absolutely not.
You know, so that to this day we were never able to figure out what it was. All we could do is document it and give them the documentation showing what happened.
Well, that's got to be a great piece of evidence right there. I mean, that's class A EVP if you ask me.
Yeah, it was crazy, man. Like,
so what happened with you and that team? Are you guys still together? Did you go your separate ways?
No. Really, we just decided, I think they're still together. But I just decided to do my own thing because I just started the ghost hunting company, and you know what I mean? I was doing investigations with other teams at the time because I am known to do that, you know.
Kind of freelancing, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of go with, you know, there's teams that I sponsor or work with, and they'll, you know, hey, come join me on this investigation, you know, and I do it. But, you know, that's kind of where it went. So probably the past 3 years, I've been doing that.
So you separate from your team. You start Deezghost. And now you're freelancing with teams. Now, what made you start Deezghost? What made you want to make equipment?
Dude, so you know, on these teams that I've been on, you know, and I look at their equipment and I'm like, God damn, like this shit is expensive, you know, because here I am buying my own equipment and I'm spending hundreds, and I probably had spent thousands of dollars on equipment at the time.
Okay.
You know, and then when I really figured out like this equipment was, I said, man, so then I started taking apart some of the equipment just to see what it was. You know what I mean? 100%. Right. And the next thing I know, I'm like, I can build this. It might not be as fancy looking, but it's going to do the exact same thing and sell it for half the price.
Well, you know, and I mean, let's be honest, you know, the cheapest thing you're going to buy is an EVP recorder. Mm-hmm. You can pick up between anywhere from $15 to $45.
Yeah.
And, you know, I mean, after that, you got your K2 meters. I mean, I spent $25 on mine, and it rattles around and it barely works. Mm-hmm. I bought an SB7 Spirit box for $119, and that thing is a piece of crap. You know?
Yeah, and so that, you know, like that was one thing that bothered me was, you know, I still have the original SB7 that I bought originally, and it was probably about that price, you know, around $100, $120, you know.
It's ridiculous.
And then I was like, I bet you I could hack a box and make it function. And the one thing I hate about, and I'm not knocking the SB7 by any means, because I think it does okay for what it's meant to do.
Oh,
But
absolutely.
my problem is no matter any SB7 that I have used, you can't hear the damn thing. When you turn it up to 30, you can't hear anything coming out of the speaker, really. It's like it doesn't, once you put it in sweep mode, you can't hear anything.
No, you have to hook it up to an
external box. Yeah.
And I mean, I've rocked little speakers to where you can barely hear it. I've rocked speakers that are 3.5 feet tall that were made for DJs that you hear it so much that you can't make out what they're saying.
Right, and that's where like this one came up. This is my hacked spirit box that is on my site. Let me see. But like this one, like when I turn it on, I mean, you can hear that plain as day.
That's gorgeous.
You know what I mean? Like, so when I'm talking and I have it up to like here, I can actually hear what it says. I can't do that with an SB7.
Not at all.
And so.
And the other problem with the SB7 is you have to sit there and cover that speaker, or you have to pretty much yell and scream at the top of your lungs your question, and then you have to let that speaker go, and there's so much interference from that speaker with your EVP recorder that you're not going to capture diddly squat, even though the SB7 is as clear as day. And that's...
You mean with the white noise coming through?
Yeah, the white noise coming through the SB7.
Right, so this one that I hacked is what they call a clean sweep. So you won't hear the white noise, you just hear the frequencies going, Now, if you want white noise, this can be set up. There's 20 presets, and I can change each preset to a dead station to just get white noise. But if you don't want white noise, you just let it scroll through its presets, and you're golden, And that's why I hacked this one, and that's why I sell it, is because, it does remind me of the SB7 as far as performance-wise, but there's not that white noise, and I can actually hear out of the speaker.
And how much does something like that go for at your shop?
$65, but if you want the turbo version, then it's $75.
Now, we're talking $75 for a Turbo Vision version,
Yeah.
SB7 Spirit box compared to the original where you have to hook a speaker up to it and scream at the top of your lungs your question and hope the ghost hears you. I mean, I think you have hands down beat right there. Anybody that hears this is coming to you for the SB7, brother.
Yeah, so and I sell the SB7s on my site. I work through because I sell, if you go to the ghosthunterstore.com, they sell my equipment. So I get my SB7s from them, but this particular one has been very popular. A lot of people purchase this one from me once they realize, like their buddy has it and they're like, man, this is actually a good spirit box, and it does well. It's not as fancy, but my mindset is, as long as the equipment is doing exactly what it's supposed to do, it doesn't have to be fancy. There's no reason to make the equipment more expensive just because how it looks, unless that's what they want,
You could have a rusted out 57 Chevy and have the engine all brand new and rebuilt. Who cares what the exterior looks like? It's all about how the baby purrs like a kitten.
That's kind of how I think of the equipment. Now, all my stuff's pretty much 3D printed for the most part, so it all looks, good. But I don't dump the extra money in the aesthetics of it, to make it look super fancy. You'll notice a lot of my boxes are in coffin boxes. That's just kind of my thing. It's always stuck. Customers have always liked it. You know what I mean?
I like that a lot, actually.
And that's pretty much what they told me they wanted in one way, shape, or form. So that's why I've stuck with it. It's kind of like my staple.
So what other pieces of equipment can you show us?
So there's quite a few other things that I could show. Like this one is the Ghost Arc. I don't know if you can see it, but the Ghost Arc 2.0. It's basically an EM pump with a Ghost Arc, which is like a Jacob's ladder, but it's a handheld version. And so when you power it on, you'll hear it's high pitched and you'll see a little electricity right there.
Right.
That is putting off like a radiation field or a voltage field, which is completely different from an EMF field. So like I can run that and then I can turn on the EM pump at the same time and be charging the room. Like right now, this is charging the room with EMF fields and radiation voltage fields.
What is the radiation and EMF do to the room?
It basically puts out an energy for the spirits or paranormal to theoretically use in whatever way they choose.
So maybe to better communicate.
Yeah, a lot of people, I use it before I do spirit box sessions, or if I'm trying to figure out if there's something there that I want them to show me they can use a trigger object.
Okay, and what is a piece of equipment like that run for?
Actually, this one goes, the original Ghost Arc for just the Ghost Arc, that box is $70, and the Ghost Arc 2.0 with the EM pump and the Ghost Arc together is like about $100. But to be fair, I don't go anywhere without it, because now that I've figured out that charging the room, the benefits of what it does and what it can help enable, it's mind-blowing at the times when you capture things. I wish Brandon, next time if you ever get a chance to talk to Brandon from the Funhouse, ask him about it. We went to a private residence. I mean, we had things turning on command that normally don't happen. It was so crazy with that thing. I can't explain it. You'd have to use it yourself to see, but otherwise than that, we've got, this one is really popular now. This is the flashlight, the REM flashlight. And basically as I go in front of it, you're going to see the light up. So if you're walking using the flashlight and something breaks the REM field, this light is going to light up and let you know that you've just encountered something through that REM field.
So something EMF.
Yeah. And basically what it is it's got a proximity sensor in it that allows, it triggers if something or some energy breaks that field, it's going to let you know. And
so it could be used as a K2, a REM pod, and a flashlight all in one. Pretty much, yeah. I mean, it's basically letting you know, like, hey, maybe I should stop right here and do some investigating. You know what I mean? That's basically what it's because if we use the equipment the right way, like a REM pod is perfect to use, but in this situation, almost every one of my REM pods you can walk with and use. And I develop it like that because I want, as an investigator, that's why I build this equipment like this, because that's what I want to use as an investigator. I want to be able to walk with the equipment and use it. And then if I encounter something like it triggers this REM, then I know, like, maybe I need to stop and do a spirit box session real quick. Or maybe I need to stop and turn on the EM pump and give it some more energy and see if we can communicate with it, Yeah, I mean, I would much rather have a REM pod with me instead of setting one up in a room that's going to make a bunch of noise when something comes around. For me to just come tromping through the house full speed and for it to be gone by the time I get there, and I hope my camera picks something up.
Yeah. And then
perfect sense.
So like with this, you had the cat balls that people were buying and using.
Yeah.
I sold them. The big difference that people didn't like about it was when the battery went dead, it was junk, So this one, what I do is I call it the orb. So what it is it took me about 6 months to find this battery sensor that's in here. And it's very sensitive. You can see, like, I'm barely like moving it or even touching it. It's going off. But it's like a wicker ball. And when this goes dead, you just remove it from it and pop a new one in it. And this is extremely sensitive, as you can see.
Very much so.
Like if I barely touch it, it's going off. So this is something that's highly, especially from the customers that have bought these from me, every single one of them highly recommend these.
So what is the piece that you have to replace in there when they go dead?
It's just a battery sensor. It's one piece, and when you buy the orb, you have the option to purchase an extra sensor for it. And so the cool thing about the orb is as I move it, like I can move it. See how it's not as sensitive?
Mm-hmm.
But if I move it back to the certain spot, it's go back to sensitive.
Weird.
So you can control by moving it how sensitive you want it to be. That's the cool thing about this piece of equipment.
That's awesome. And what is something like
it's
that?
It's like I think $9.99.
And do you get two of them or just one?
You get the one, but I think there's two for $18 or something.
2 for $18. Okay.
But I mean,
the coffin box that you showed me.
So I have two of those. And so here's the thing. I decided there's another builder that I talked to, and we kind of put ideas out, and I wanted to put out multi-tool devices, which means it's like a 3-in-1 device. So this one device is like 3 devices put in one. So it's got multiple uses. So I call that the Mausoleum series. Okay. So we all know what a mausoleum is, right? I mean, it's the building that houses all these basically dead people. Okay. So there's multiple in there. So that's the concept of it's in a coffin box. So I call it the Mausoleum series, which means these devices, the Mausoleum series devices, have more than one device in that box.
Fantastic.
So then the first one we have is called the Lurker box. Okay. So when I power this on, you're going to notice right away there's a temperature gauge readout that will always stay on as long as the battery's on.
65.
For this device,
65.4.
Yeah. So to me, I feel like this is a very important piece of the equipment that people forget about temperature, because if this REM pod decides to go off, I want to see, am I getting a fluctuation in temperature at the same time?
It kind of puts the theory to the test that if a spirit is around, does the temperature drop, or does it
that's what I'm trying to find out. So this particular box, the Lurker box, which you can find on the website under the category Mausoleum series, you'll find this one. This is the Lurker box. So it has a REM and it also has a motion sensor at the top. So this first switch is going to turn on my REM.
Wow.
And then if I extend it up, I'm just extending the reach of the REM. See?
That is a thing of beauty.
So let's say, okay, I've walked around with it and I'm done with the REM part and I need a stationary motion sensor. So now I just flip off my REM. Now I'm going to turn on my motion. Boom. It immediately kicked on. That's what the red light, it detects motion.
Nice. And can you run the REM pod and the motion at the same time?
Yep.
Okay. And if somebody wanted to say sound for the REM or the motion, can that be added as well?
It can. I wouldn't recommend it because there is sound with the REM, and if you're using both of them at the same time, you know what I mean?
Right.
It can get confusing. So the REM has sound on it, but the motion does not.
Okay.
So this is called the lurker box, and so it's got temperature, REM, and motion. So this is another 3-in-1. So this is $110, and you get 3 pieces of equipment into one box.
You're kidding me. $110. Okay. I need to chop this up here. Number one, a temp gun at any cheapness is gonna cost you 30, 40 bucks.
Yeah.
A REM pod at its cheapest is gonna cost you 50 or 60. And a motion detector, I mean, yeah, you can go buy one for 10 bucks, but it ain't going to work worth a damn. You're going to spend 50, 60 bucks on that. So you're $180, $190 worth of equipment right there. But for you all in one, I mean, $110, that's mind blowing.
Yeah. So, and then the one I just released last night is called the Gravedigger. So each 3-in-1 device that I design will have its own unique name under the Mausoleum series. So this one's called the Gravedigger. And so what this one's a little bit more complicated. And unfortunately, I'm on my phone, so I can't really show you how this part works. But this has got an auxiliary to it, okay? You'll notice there's a little speaker right here, and there's a dial. Hold on. A dial for you to adjust. This is for you to adjust your volume, okay, for the speaker. So what you do, you go on your phone, because I'm starting to see teams using apps and things like that. So you go on your phone or your tablet and you download a frequency generator app, okay? You plug this up to your phone, and then you go anywhere from 20 hertz to 20,000 hertz. Okay. And then you turn this up, and what it does is it puts out frequencies in, ultrasound or ultrasonic frequencies.
Okay.
Does that make sense?
That does.
And what it does is it puts off a vibrational energy. So it's another charging form for the room. And frequencies, as you change frequencies, whether it's like 20 hertz, which is right below what a human can hear, or 25K hertz, you'll get through those high-pitched and those low-pitched frequencies. That can stir up the paranormal and the spirits.
How exactly does that stir them up, just out of curiosity?
Because of like, once you start going past what a human can hear, think about it. Like, can they hear it? Right? And then you've got the vibrational pulses of energy coming from the speaker that's put out into the field. So it does stir up a lot of things. If you do some research on it, there's a thing called infrasonic and infrasound, which is below 20 hertz. And then you've got ultrasonic sound, which is above what the human can hear. And that's pretty much what you're able to do with this, is put off those frequencies.
So the theory is that the high or the low frequencies will attract the spirits. Hey, and if the hell is that noise? Let's go check it out.
And in theory, if you do your research, you'll find that there are people that believe the lower frequencies can stir up darker things, and the higher frequencies can stir up maybe guides, spirit guides, or things like that. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Now that's just a theory, but if you do some research, you will find people, that's what they study. The other thing,
good theory, actually.
The other thing that I've got on this is, so you've got let me see if I've got this battery on. Nope. Okay. So this is another REM form, but it is triggered by alligator clips.
Okay.
So if I take these alligator clips off and I put them to an object or a trigger object, like something metal, maybe it's an old antique can. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, let's say we're in an Indian burial ground area or something, and you have an old tobacco can. Like, you hook it up to the can. Now that can is your trigger object.
Okay,
Right?
so you could basically hook that up to like a child's toy, like a teddy bear.
Yeah, or put the clips together and make a circle in front of the box and put your teddy bear or your object in that circle, and now it's become a part of that REM or that sensor.
That is amazing.
So it allows you to turn objects into your trigger sensor or your trigger object.
And what does something like that go for?
Those go for about $70. Oh, well, the whole device goes for $150, but it's also got a vibration sensor on it. Like, see how it's lighting up? That's me barely tapping the box. So it's detecting that vibration.
Wow, that is phenomenal. So pretty much for a whole setup with all that equipment you just showed, somebody could easily get everything they needed besides a night vision camcorder for like $600.
I mean, in theory, yeah. And if you just got like, the no-brainer would be to get the two, like get the lurker box and the gravedigger, because you've got 6 items in 2 devices that you have. I mean, and you're going to spend what, $250 total, $260 total on 6 devices.
And not to mention these devices alone. I mean, you're looking at spending $900 to $1,200 on the devices, and you're offering all these devices for, with everything you showed under maybe a little over $600.
Yeah, I mean, if you put those in there, so you got 250, you got another 100, 350, 420. So for about right under $500, you could get 1, 2, 3, about 10 pieces of equipment to pretty much do everything you need.
I most definitely, when I get my income tax check, I am coming and knocking on Deezghost's door.
Well, I can tell you these Mausoleum series boxes, which is these 3-in-1 boxes, they're extremely popular for that reason. People are realizing now that with me offering 3 devices into one, when you're spending $100 to $150 on just one device that does 3 things, like it's a no-brainer, like, and you can turn them all off and on separately, so you can use just one device out of it at a time if you want.
Now, my question is do they run off of batteries or is it rechargeable?
They do. They run them off of batteries. And the only reason I didn't put rechargeable batteries and all that in there is because I wanted to keep the cost down,
right.
Which unfortunately will give some of the cost to the customer because they'll have to buy more batteries, but they usually run on 9 volts.
I mean, honestly, you can, if my memory serves me correctly, you can buy rechargeable 9 volts now.
Oh yeah, you could do that yourself and save you a ton of money.
I just gotta say, what you're doing for the paranormal field, Jesse, is absolutely phenomenal. And I am proud to call you a partner of the foundation, and I am definitely glad we're working together. And for everybody, that wants to buy this equipment from Jesse, all you got to do is go to Deezghost.com. And if you type in the promo code Global EQ, this man here will give you 10% off your first purchase.
Yeah. I mean, why not save the money and support a team like the Global United team and use the code, man. Take advantage of it. There's a lot of people that forget about these codes, but I do it for these teams because of their passion, and I like to give back, and me and these teams like to give back together to these investigators, because we realize it does cost a lot of money to get this equipment. But with Deezghost, you don't have to break your pocket to get a quality piece of equipment.
What's so beautiful about that is that, like with my former team, the SGC, we fought, clawed, and scratched for every piece of equipment we could get. We'd get the SLS cam. We got our hands on that for $300 after I got an income tax back. That thing fell off of a 2-story building and shattered. We got an Obelisk 3 given to us that got left in a cemetery. And, we pay all this money for these little pieces of equipment. So we're rocking, enough equipment to get the job done, but just barely, like bottom of the barrel investigating. And then, you come along and you're an idol to teams like the SGC, man. You really are. You are the man, the myth, and the legend.
Well, I don't know if I'd go that far, but as far as legendary moves, I mean, I think I am the only ghost hunting equipment builder and company that offers insurance on my products. On the website, you can purchase insurance on the product that you just purchased from me or that you are going to purchase. You can purchase a 6-month policy for no more than $35. And what that does,
Really?
Let's say you buy a lurker box and you want to buy insurance on it. That's going to cover you for up to 6 months for a one-time use. So if you drop it, let's say you're getting it out of the car and you drop it and it breaks and it's no longer functionable, doesn't matter. All you do is you send me a video of it not functioning and I build you a new one and I send it to you. The only thing you have to pay for is shipping.
Now, my question is after that 6 months is up, can somebody buy another 6 months worth?
Yep. You can.
Insurance on it?
Yes, you can. It's on the main page. You'll see an insurance section on the front page, and it'll take you to a link directly to the insurance.
Wow. I mean, you build equipment for dirt cheap, and I know it consumes your time. You offer them at such affordable prices that even the lowest of the low investigators can buy the equipment they need. You offer insurance. I mean, is there anything you don't do?
I don't know, but I know that, the investigators that have broken equipment over the years, you can tell which ones them are, and the ones that really take pride in their equipment because they do purchase the insurance. And I've had people use it. I don't make anything off the insurance at all. Most of the time I'll lose a little bit of money, but it's not about the money to me. It's about building the brand and showing consumers that I do stand behind my product and I get it, that things happen, and we're there for you. Deezghost is there for you. The equipment might not be the fanciest, but it's going to do the exact job you need it to do.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to spread Jesse and Deezghost.com like wildfire. I've got several platforms, including TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, Clapper, and a few more. And Jesse, you are getting spread like wildfire from global. You will be in every group page that I am a part of for selling equipment. You know, you are working wonders, like I said, for the paranormal, man. And you have my utmost respect, brother.
No, it's definitely appreciated, man. And you know, I don't know that I'll do this forever, but I do it while I can because I enjoy it. I like building the equipment. I get a lot of people on. If you go on the website, there's a messenger button. There's a message us button or a messenger button, and that goes straight to me. When you buy a piece of equipment, you get my business card with my number on it, so you can contact me or text message me at any time with questions. I'm very prompt at trying to get back to customers, whether it's questions about what equipment you think you need, or maybe you just have a question about the actual piece of equipment that you're looking at. Doesn't matter. That's what I'm there for. And me and my team will respond.
That's fantastic. Eldon, is there anything you'd like to add, brother?
Oh, wow. I get to speak finally, do I?
Yeah, it's time for you to speak, old timer.
Good Lord. You know, we just pulled in here at our investigation location tonight. So I figured I'd get on here and kind of give you a little surprise. But
I talked about the investigation that we were filming our first episode for Paraflix. You want to do a little discussion about that, where we're at and what we're doing?
Well, the location, it's up here in Flagstaff, Arizona. I don't want to reveal where it's quite at, you know, right now. But I'll give a little history of it. It was built in 1931 as a taxidermy location. The gentleman that built the location, his name was Dean Eldridge. He passed away about 4 or 5 years later after he built the location. And he had over 30,000 specimens that he had on display here. It's been a roadhouse, watering hole in the area just after Prohibition. Back in the 60s, early 60s, there was a couple that purchased the location. They had it for about 10 years, turned it into like a country and western location. And unfortunately, after 10 years of owning the building, the wife ended up passing away due to a fall here on the property. And it is said that the husband, a couple years later, took his own life here on the property due to broken heart and depression and whatever have you. And since then, it's just kind of been a club ever since. So we're going to be in here locked down, literally locked down. We're not going to be able to go outside. We're going to be locked inside the doors all night long. We'll be out at about 8 o'clock in the morning. So we've definitely got an entire overnight lockdown at this location.
That's phenomenal. Is there anything you'd like to add for Jesse?
Oh man, you know, I just think what he's doing with the equipment is awesome. You know, he's absolutely right. And the fact that, you know, right now you go to, you know, other platforms for equipment, and you're going to pay some high strenuous costs for that equipment, you know, and you know, it's like Jesse said, you know, some of it does okay, you know, some of it doesn't. There's a couple that's fabulous, you know, and a lot of it seems to be a lot of high priced for not very much that you're getting. And from what I've seen on Jesse's product, it's good product. It works in the field, and he's given a dang good price on it. And that's really the importance, like you said, as long as you get something that works in the field, that's what's most important, not necessarily what it looks like, or, you know, you want it to do what it's supposed to do.
Yeah.
Now, there was something that one of our team members ordered. And I was wondering if you could explain it to us before we hop off of here. It is the geophone.
Oh, it's the lurker box. That's what they consider it as the.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So it's got like the temperature readout. It's the lurker box.
Nice. Well, all right, brother. Is there anything else you would like to say before we end tonight's podcast?
Man, no, I just appreciate you guys letting me be a part of this, and I appreciate you guys letting me jump on here and explain my products and chatting with you guys about stories and stuff. It was a good time, and yeah, don't be afraid to reach out to us.
Most definite. And before we go, I'd like to have you stay on with me. There's a few personal things I'd actually like to talk to you about after
Sure.
the show.
Yeah, no problem.
All right. Well, we're going to go ahead and throw you in the back and
All
end
right,
the show.
sounds good.
Brother. Well, Eldon, at least you made it to one out of the 3 podcasts I've done by myself.
Well, you know, I didn't say much. You know, you didn't give me much choice there.
Sorry,
So-
sir. I've been on a roll today.
And that's okay, man. That you had it under control. You did an outstanding job. You know, I love seeing Jesse on. You know, he's got a good product, man, and you know, I just can't stress that enough. I think that was an outstanding guest that we had on tonight, and I can't wait for him to come back again and you know keep us updated as to what he's got coming out next, man. It's like he don't stop. He just finds something and he runs with it, and I love the guy for that.
Definite, man. He's like a machine.
Oh, for real.
Well, brother, I'd like to say before we go, it's nice to see your face again.
Well, you know,
And-
I'm a lot better looking than you are, so I can understand that.
Through that, I may be 50 years younger, but you're a lot better looking.
That's right, absolutely.
Well, brother, you guys be safe tonight. You capture that good evidence. Tell Jason he's an asshole for me. And,
Well, he'll be up
tell
here in a couple hours.
Kenny-
We're up here first for everybody else, so we're just kind of chilling until they get here.
Well, tell Kenny and Adam and everybody I said hi, and I said be safe, and I wish you all the best of luck tonight. Capture that evidence, and let's make this episode look pretty.
Will do, man. Will do. I'll see you in the back, dude.
All right, brother.
Inside the club right
Well, all right, ladies and gentlemen, that is our show for tonight. I hope you all enjoyed it as much as I did. Before we go, make sure to go to Parapost Network, where it is a Facebook-like atmosphere, and it is strictly for the paranormal, UFOs, mythological creatures. If you're an enthusiast, a medium, whatever, this site is drama-free. And like I said, it runs on Android. It runs on Apple. You can download it on your computer. You can go to parapost.net, or you can go to the Google Play Store and you can download the Parapost app. And if you are an investigator and you are looking for equipment, please, please, please go to Deezghost.com. That's DEEZ ghost.com, where, like he said, you can get 10 pieces of equipment that you need for under $400, and it all does what you need it to do. And don't forget to put in the promo code GLOBALEQ to get 10% off your first purchase. Well, boys and ghouls, that's going to end it for tonight. From Eldon, my co-host, and Brian, the ghost host with the most, keep spooking and have a spectacular night, guys. Bye-bye.